Hello and good evening. Welcome to the national news broadcast coming to you live from the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation's studios. I am Thilino Deratna together with Kasuni Balachandra. First up, a look into your top stories for tonight. Mahinda Rajapaksa hands in his letter of resignation from the post of Prime Minister. Polonnaruwa district parliamentarian Amarakirti Atukorala dies in a clash. More than 150 persons have been injured in confrontations. An island-wide curfew until further notice. The defence divisions request the general public to remain calm. A ship carrying 3,500 metric tons of gas will be reaching the island tomorrow. Great Britain says that the Russian president wants to frighten the world. Well, on your top local story this evening, in what can only be described as one of the worst times that my Sri Lanka has had to endure, today, the 9th of May 2022 will go down in history as one of the darkest days that our people have experienced. After days, weeks and more than a month of agitations, pent-up frustration and growing protests, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has tendered his resignation to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. In his letter of resignation, he has stated that he is leaving the post of Prime Minister in order to extend cooperation for the setting up of an interim all-party government. Here are some excerpts of the letter handed over to the President by Mahinda Rajapaksa. And I quote, "The people in the country are experiencing extreme difficulties as a result of short-sighted economic decisions taken by some governments that came into power after independence. The situation has been further aggravated due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the war situation that has emerged in Europe. It is unnecessary to repeat that the situation created as a result of the economic crisis and political chaos is the most difficult condition faced by the Sri Lankan public in recent history. It has to be recalled that the Mahanayaka Theras of the three Nikayas, the Most Reverend Cardinal, the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, several political parties and civil organizations have pointed out that the most appropriate solution to rectify the situation is to establish an interim all-party government through the support of all parties representing the present Parliament. Resignation from the post of Prime Minister has been notified to the President as a means to express full agreement to a request made by the President at a special meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers held on the 6th of May to form an all-party government. I am prepared to extend any further sacrifice in the interest of the general public. My only wish is to see a speedy conclusion to the sufferings of the people and the country through the implementation of whatever forms of proposed action. I also believe that the parties which have proposed the formation of an all-party government would come forward to accept all challenges to be faced by the country in the times ahead." Well, on the same note, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, who has in fact resigned from his post, says that he is ready to make any sacrifice on behalf of the general public.
He has made these remarks to the people who came to extend him support at the temple trees. Large groups of people have flocked at the temple trees today to extend their support to Mahinda Rajapaksa. They included parliamentarians, representatives of provincial councils and local government institutions of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that he recalls of facing similar crises when he assumed duties as president in the year 2009. At that time, they were able to resolve the economic crisis without giving publicity and without causing much economic hardships to the people. At that time, they had identified the problem. Knowledgeable officials were appointed to look into the problem and to take immediate measures. A crisis is not something that has no solution. He added added that everybody knows that he's a politician of the people and that his sole expectation is the happiness of the people. He also said that he's a politician who could very well feel the sorrows of the people. He also said that at a time when a country is facing an economic crisis, the most important fact to be taken into consideration is the well-being of the people and not seeking petty political objectives. Agitations may take place. He added that they should have ways to find solutions. In doing so, they must not show their back to the Constitution. Mahinda Rajapaksa added that his policy is to face the challenges and overcome them. He has no habit of fleeing from the problems. They must not set bad examples to the future generations. Mahinda Rajapaksa also said that it is no discrete fact that the opposition parties today are trying to come to power through economic crisis and political agendas. Although they utter slogans to unite and build the country, they have rejected the invitations extended to attend all party discussions. He further said that the Mahanayakatheros of the three Nikayas, the Most Reverend Cardinal, Sri Lanka Bar Association, some political parties and civil organizations are proposing to set up an all-party government. The President would also have the opportunity to accede to their intentions. He added that in politics, he always was in the side of the people. That was why he was able to rescue the motherland, which was about to be divided. This is his most memorable souvenir in his life. He also said that the month of May commemorates the people's victory. Mahinda Rajapaksa also said that for him, always first is the motherland, and secondly and thirdly also it is the motherland. Those who were injured in the clash that has taken place this morning at the Temple Trees are receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital.
The fight took place between those who arrived at a meeting at the Temple Trees and those who engaged in an agitation at the golf face green. The police was compelled to use tear gas and water cannons in order to control the confrontation. The group which came to the premises of the Temple Trees this morning has come out to the Gaul Road and obstructed the protesters who were engaged in agitations. The group had also demolished makeshift tents of the protesters. Thereafter, they entered the protest site at the Gaul Face Green. They were undeterred by the police's roadblocks and water cannon attacks. Large crowds flocked to the Gaul Face at once and obstructed the protesters. They destroyed the tents and stalls and set them on fire in an unruly manner. Thereafter, a clash took place between the two groups. The army was ordered to be present at the site in order to quench the rioting. Thereafter, a large group, including the Mahasangha and members of other religious groups, was seen entering the Gaul Face premises. The police and the army used water and tear gas to calm them down. Thereafter, those injured in the clash were admitted to the National Hospital.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa in a Twitter message says those who are encouraging violence, disregarding political opinions, are being thoroughly condemned. The president in his message adds that violence will never give solutions to problems. He calls on all people to face the situation with restfulness and patience. He also requests the general public to act in unity to find a solution to the crisis. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in a Twitter message says violence only begets more violence. Therefore, he points out that Sri Lanka needs an economical solutions to the current economic crisis and that the government is committed to find such a solution.
Defence authorities request the general public to ensure law and order of the country by refraining from violence. They made this request at a press conference held this evening. Defence Secretary and Tri-Forces commanders participated in the press conference held in Colombo. Across addressing the media, Defence Secretary retired General Kamal Gunaratne said that a tense situation occurred in the country following an unruly incident that took place at the peaceful protest site at the Golf Race Green this morning. An impartial inquiry would be held to apprehend the culprits who attacked the peaceful protesters. He requested the general public to refrain from arson attacks, damages to property and violence against individuals.
උදේ ඇතිවෙච්ච තත්වය ඊට පස්සේ හවස ඊට වඩා බොහොම දරුණු තත්වයක් ඇති වුණා මම කරුණා කළා සංසුන් වෙන්න ප්‍රදේශ කිහිපයකින් වාර්තා
Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said security forces have been deployed to protect the people of this country. The main task of the security forces is to protect the public and property. Violent incidents have been reported from many parts of the country. He also requested the general public to act wisely and peacefully. He also requested the people not to engage in violent activities at any time.
The most venerable Mahanayaka Theros of the three Nikayas say they strongly reject the brutal attack launched against peaceful protesters. The Theros in a media communique point out that the attack was launched with the intention of fulfilling petty political objectives.
The media release adds that the barbaric onslaught waged against innocent people, requesting solutions to a social, economic and political crisis, was a severe attack on democracy, discrediting humanity. They also say that the political leadership which had directly or indirectly encouraged this dastard act do not have any more civilized right to remain in power as public representatives, upholding the people's supremacy. The head of state is bound by the Constitution to safeguard the lives and properties of the general public and their right for freedom of expression. The Mahanayaka Theras in their message say the Sri Lanka police and relevant institutions should implement the law sternly against those who oppress the law, based on a power-hungry and treacherous political agenda that might have deterred the country. The Mahasangha further say that the attack is an outcome of not focusing speedy attention on the proposals submitted by the Mahasangha and numerous other parties. The Mahanayaka Theras further point out that all responsible parties and the people are being urged to resolve the crisis in an intelligent and peaceful manner at this crucial moment.
His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, Archbishop of Colombo, vehemently condemned the attack on peaceful protesters in Colombo today. He made those comments at a press briefing held in Colombo this evening.
We would like to ask our people and all the others who have gathered in such numbers not to give up on this struggle, but to behave in a way that is decent and acceptable, and not to engage in return violence of any sort, to be peaceful and to protest with dignity and on the basis of the religious principles that govern our country, especially the teachings of the great Lord Buddha.
Well, in news that we've just received at the moment, a media release issued by the Presidential Media Division says that curfew, which was imposed at 7 o'clock this evening, will be lifted at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The communique adds that no person is allowed to remain in common highways, railroads, or any other public place without having written permission from a relevant authority during the period of the curfew. In news that we've received right now, a media release issued by the Presidential Media Division says that the curfew, which was imposed at 7 p.m. this evening, will be lifted at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and the communique adds that no person is allowed to remain in common highways, railroads, or any other public places without having written permission from relevant authorities during the period of the authority and the curfew. මේ දැන් ලැබුණු ප්‍රවෘත්ති මත මහජන ආරක්ෂක ආඥා පනත 16 වන වගන්තයේ යටතේ වූ නියමයන්ට අනුකූලව අද රාත්‍රී 7 සිට හෙට උදෑසන 7 දක්වා බලපැවැත්වෙන පරිදි මුළු දිවයිනටම ඇඳිරි නීතිය පනවා තිබේ. බලය දෙනු ලබන නිලධාරියෙකු විසින් ප්‍රදානය කරන ලද ලිඛිත අවසර පත්‍රයක අධිකාරය යටතේ මිස පොදු මාර්ගයක, දුම්රිය මාර්ගයක, පොදු උද්‍යානයක, පොදු ක්‍රීඩා භූමියක හෝ වෙනත් පොදු භූමියක හෝ එම ප්‍රදේශවල මුහුදු වෙරළේ රැඳී සිටීමට කිසිවෙකුට අවසර නැති බව ඔවුන් දන්වා සිටිනවා. මේ දැන් ලැබුණු ප්‍රවෘත්ති වලට අනුව මහජන ආරක්ෂක ආඥා පනතේ 16 වන වගන්තිය යටතේ වූ නියමයන්ට අනුකූලව අද මැයි මාස 9 වන දින රාත්‍රී 7 සිට හෙට දින උදෑසන 7 දක්වා බලපැවැත්වෙන පරිදි මුළු දිවයිනටම ඇඳිරි නීතිය පවත්වා තිබේ. බලය දෙන ලබන නිලධාරියෙකු විසින් ප්‍රදානය කරන ලද ලිඛිත අවසර පත්‍රයක අධිකාරය යටතේ මිස පොදු මාර්ගයක, දුම්රිය මාර්ගයක, පොදු උද්‍යානයක, පොදු ක්‍රීඩා භූමියක හෝ වෙනත් පොදු භූමියක හෝ එම ප්‍රදේශවල මුහුදු වෙරළේ රැඳී සිටීමට කිසිවෙකුට අවසර නැති බව ඔවුන් දන්වා සිටිනවා. It seems that curfew will in fact continue and will be imposed until 7 a.m. tomorrow in news that we've received right now.
And in more news, the national television has won many awards at the 43rd Cygnus Cinema and Performing Teledrama Awards presentation ceremony held at the BMICH in Colombo yesterday.
The award ceremony has been organized by the Sri Lanka branch of the Cygnus International Organization. S. Rajendran has won the award for the best audio controller in the teledrama Veeraya Gedara Avith, telecast over the national television. The award for the best creative music direction was also accorded to Gayan Ganakadara in the Veeraya Gedara Avith teledrama. Ajit Kumarasiri, who sang the song Ekadawasak Palangetiyak in the teledrama titled Sudu Endagena Kalu Avidin, telecast over the national television, was also felicitated. The award for Best Art Direction was presented to Sunet Nandalal for his work in the Veeraya Gedara Avith teledrama. The Cygnus Golden Award for Best Creative Camera Direction was presented to Tisara Tulwan for camera direction of the Veera Gidara Avith teledrama. The Cygnus Golden Award for the Best Creative Script Writing was handed over to Namal Jayasinghe for his performance in Veera Gidara Avith. Nethali Nanayakara, who has portrayed the role of a blind mother in the Veera Gidara Avith teledrama, was awarded the special award of the jury. The Cygnus Golden Award for the Most Creative Supporting Actress was awarded to Chandani Seneviratne for her portrayal of a humanist woman in the Veera Gidara Avith teledrama.
The Cygnus Special Jury Award on Acting Evaluation was awarded posthumously to late Mrs. Hyacinth Vijayaratna. Anand Kumara Unnahe, who acted the Wilson's character in the Sudu and the Gena Kalu Avidin teledrama of the national television, was adjudged as the best male supporting actor. Jani Senanayaka, who has portrayed the character of the sister of a disabled soldier in the Veera Gidara Avith teledrama of the national television, has received the award for the best creative actress in the Cygnus Golden Award. Roshan Ravindra, who has portrayed the character of disabled soldier in the Veera Gidara Avith teledrama of the national television, was adjudged as the best creative actor of the Cygnus Golden Award. Ananda Abhinayaka, who has directed the teledrama Veera Gidara Avith of the national television, has received the award for the best creative direction. The Veera Gidara Avith teledrama of the national television was adjudged as the best teledrama of the year. Upekha Nirmani, who had sung the song in the teledrama Can You Hear Me, was awarded with the best creative singer of the year. 3 special evaluation awards were also presented at the Cygnus Awards presentation. One of them was handed over to Bishop of Gaul, Reverend Father Raymond Vikramasinghe. Another special award was handed over to the National Film Corporation for the immense contributions of the development of the local cinema. The other evaluation award was presented to 360 Technological Corporation in the local cinema industry. Many veterans in the fields of arts were also present at the ceremony.
එම ගීතයේ ගේය පද රචනය සිදු කළ නුවන් ටූට් ලියනගේ වසරේ නිර්මාණශීලී ගේය පද රචනයට හිමි සම්මානය දිනා ගත්තා. මෙවර සිග්නිස් සම්මාන උළෙලේ විශේෂ ඇගීම් සම්මාන 3ක් පිරිනැමුණා. ගාලු රදගුරු රේමන් වික්‍රමසිංහ හිමිපාණන් වෙත සුවිශේෂී ඇගීම් සම්මානයක් පිරිනැමුණා. ලාංකීය සිනමාවක් වෙනුවෙන් අතිමහත් කැපවීමක් සිදු කළ ජාතික චිත්‍රපට සංස්ථාවට සුවිශේෂී ඇගීම් සම්මානයක් පිරිනැමුණා. මෙවර සිග්නිස් සම්මාන උළෙලේ සුවිශේෂී ඇගීම් සම්මානය පිරිනැමුණේ ලාංකීය සිනමාවට තාක්ෂණික අනාගතයක් සනිටුහන් කළ 360 වෙතයි. ශේත්‍රයේ ප්‍රවීණයින් කලාකරුවන් ඇතුළු පිරිසක් මේ අවස්ථාවට එක්ව සිටියා.
Now, to further to what we mentioned earlier, the curfew currently enforced island-wide from 7 p.m. tonight will be enforced until 7 a.m. tomorrow, which is when will be lifted.
The Litro Gas Company says that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has intervened to resolve the gas shortage. Chairman of the company, Vijitha Herath, said a ship carrying 3,500 metric tons of gas is scheduled to reach the island tomorrow on the mediation of the President.
Chairman of the Litro Gas Company, Vijitha Herath, said that a ship loaded with 3,500 metric tons of gas is scheduled to anchor at the Colombo port tomorrow through the intervention of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The chairman added that measures have been taken to distribute 15,000 gas cylinders in Colombo and the suburbs today and tomorrow. The company is able to deliver 80,000 cylinders daily beginning from next Wednesday, and Chairman Vijitha Herath has also said that they have made a payment of $7 million, which is equivalent to 2.8 billion rupees for the gas stock today. They are hoping to unload shipments containing 3,500 metric tons of gas with the shortest possible delay. Distribution of fuel is being conducted continuously. Our correspondents say that they have seen even today many bowsers loaded with fuel leaving the Kolonava installation. Filling station managers say stations throughout the Polonnaruwa district are receiving fuel stocks as usual. However, long queues have also been observed in filling stations in certain areas on the island. Our correspondents say that there were queues also to purchase kerosene oil.
A media briefing of parliamentarians of independent parties was held in Colombo today. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa said that he earnestly appeals from every party not to give room to any form of violence. He added that we must learn lessons from Middle Eastern countries which lost everything due to violent activities. Everybody has the right to express their own opinion, but they don't have the right to turn the country into a pool of blood.
කරුණාකර මේ රට ලේ විලක් බවට පත් කරන්න සමහර බලවේගවලට ඕනකම තියෙනවා ඒ ඕනකම නම් ඉටු කරන්න එපා ඒක කිරීමෙන් වෙන්නේ ඔබත් අපත් රටත් අපේ මතු පරපුරත් සවම එකම සොහනක වැළලෙන දිනයක් උදා වෙන එක විතරයි මේ තීරණාත්මක වෙලාවේ අපි ඊටාම පිළිකුලෙන් හෙලා දකිනවා අද මේ කරපු තකතිරු මර ප්‍රහාරය ඒ වගේ මේකට පොළඹවපු සියලු දේශපාලඥයෝ මේකට වග කියන්න ඕන ඒ වගේම නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න ඕන අපිට අපේ වගකීමෙන් මිදෙන්න බෑ අපි අවසන් තප්පරය දක්වා උත්සාහ කරනවා මේ තත්ත්වය නිවලා මේ තත්ත්වය සංසුන් කරලා මහජනයාට පිළිගත හැකි පාලන තන්ත්‍රයේ පරිවර්තනයක් ඇති කරලා එමගින් මේ වැඩෙන වර්ධනය වෙන ආරාජික සහ ස්ථාවර භාවය පරාජයට පත් කරන්න අපි තා ඕනකමින් සියලු දෙනාට මේ ඒ සඳහා සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන මෙන් ඉල්ලනවා දැන් අද ඔය ගාලු මෝදුරට ගියාම විපක්ෂ නායකතුමාටත් විරෝධයකට මුහුණ දෙන්න උනා. ඊට පෙර ඒ පක්ෂයේ සව කීප දෙනෙකුට පාර්ලිමේන්තු වටරවුමේදී විරෝධයට ඒ විරෝධතාකරුවන්ගේ ප්‍රහාරයට මුහුණ දෙන්න සිද්ධ වුණා. ඉතින් මේකෙන් ඒ අය තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන මේ විරෝධතාකරුවන්ගේ තියෙන සමස්තය කෙරෙහි වෛරයක් සහ පිළිකුලක්. ඒ නිසා අපි පොලිසියෙන් ඉල්ලනවා ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ
Parliamentarian Dasir Jayasekara has requested the police and the president to take measures to arrest all political leaders who are responsible for inciting the people into violence. The country should be directed on the proper path. More stories after this break.
அனுப்பும் போது பரிசு குவியல்கள் ஒவ்வொரு நாளுமே 10,000 ரூபாவாம் பெருமதி மிக்கதாய் வாராந்தம் தங்கமாம் மாதாந்தம் மில்லியனை வெல்லலாமே போட்டியில் கோடிகளை அள்ளலாமே
நீங்கள் வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து அனுப்பும் பணத்தினை மக்கள் வங்கிக்கு அனுப்பினால் பரிசு குவியல்கள் பீப்பிள்ஸ் ரெமிட்டன்ஸ் கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம் அனுப்புங்கள் வெல்லுங்கள்.
Welcome back, and in your foreign news tonight, Russian President Vladimir Putin said that the Russian forces in Ukraine were fighting for the future of their motherland.
He made these remarks and comments in his annual address marking victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. Parades have been taking place in 28 Russian cities involving 65,000 people, 2,400 items of military hardware and more than 400 aircraft. And the Ukrainian ambassador to the United Kingdom has said that the best way out of the war is if Ukraine wins militarily. Russia and Ukraine have had 6 rounds of negotiations, Ukrainian ambassador to the United Kingdom said at a conference at King's College, London. He further said that Russia had come to negotiate with unrealistic and unjustified expectations. Russian forces are conducting storming operations of the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol, backed by tanks and artillery fire, Ukraine's defense ministry says. The defense ministry spokesman of Russia says he won't exclude the possibility of future airstrikes on the plant where the last remaining Ukrainian troops are held up in Mariupol.
Voting has closed in the Philippines after millions queued across the islands to choose their next president. The man tipped to win the presidency is Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., the son of the nation's former dictator. Opinion polls have suggested he may see a landslide victory, meaning the Marcos clan, ousted by a people's revolt 36 years ago, could reclaim power. His main rival is Leni Robredo, a liberal who narrowly beat Marcos in the 2016 vice presidential race. But pollsters this campaign have consistently shown the Marcos are ahead with a commanding 30 percentage point lead. Polls closed at 19 local time and counting was due to start immediately, although voting may be extended in some places to account for COVID restrictions.
Prima Kotumi, Pantamay.
Welcome back, and it's time for some sports news. On a cracker of a 5-wicket haul of a performance by Vanidhu Hasaranga, Royal Challengers Bangalore beat Sunrisers Hyderabad in an IPL match yesterday. And together at the same time, Chennai Super Kings were able to beat Delhi Capitals in the match against each other's opponents yesterday. Here's more news on that.
The Royal Challengers Bangalore team, batting first, has scored 192 runs for the loss of 3 wickets at the end of the 20 overs. The highest scorer was Captain Faf du Plessis, who has scored 73 runs facing 50 deliveries. His score has included 8 boundaries and 2 sixers. Rajat Patidar has scored 48 runs and Glenn Maxwell 30 runs. Dinesh Karthik has collected 30 speedy runs facing just 8 deliveries. Dinesh's hit included 4 sixers. The Sunrisers Hyderabad team in reply has scored only 125 runs in 19 overs and 2 deliveries. Rahul Tripathi scored 58 runs. The highest wicket taker was Vanidhu Hasaranga, who has secured 5 wickets for 18 runs in 4 overs. This was the best bowling record in the Indian Premier League. League cricket tournament, Vanidhu Hasaranga with a haul of 21 wickets stand in the second place of highest wicket takers.
Well, that's a wrap on tonight's Rupavahini English News. Join us once again tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, be informed, be vigilant, and protest peacefully. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Good night.